Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to photograph a popping balloon with the CA6 using the Sound Module. So first off, let me set up the shot a little bit. I've got the camera here pointing at the target, and I've got two flashes. All of those are going to be connected to the CA6. And the way you normally take a photograph of a balloon popping is you do it in a dark room. And that's because the shutter leg on the camera is too high to photograph a balloon popping. So what you want to do is you want to pre-trigger your camera in a dark room and then trigger the flashes right when the balloon pops, and that will light your scene and sort of solidify the image on your sensor. So we've got the CA6 there, and like I said, it's got the camera and two flashes. And here's the sound module. One thing to remember with sound is that it travels pretty slowly through air. So it travels about 1,000 feet per second, which doesn't sound like too much time, but when you're photographing a popping balloon, you generally want about 3 milliseconds between when it starts popping and when you trigger the flashes. So I've just, instead of programming a delay of 3 milliseconds into the CA6, which I could do, instead I'm going to just move it about 3 feet away from the balloon, and that will give it about the right delay. And I found that, playing with the distance for this type of photography is a little bit easier than actually setting the settings in the CA6. So here's the software settings that you're going to want to set for the CA6. We'll go into the camera flash settings, and number 1 is going to be a camera. That's where I've got the camera. So port number 2 is where I've got the flash connected. And number 3 is where the second flash is connected. And then sort of the default values are going to be the same. Ports 4 through 8 are going to act as a camera, but they're not connected to anything, so that doesn't matter. Let's see. We'll go home now, and we'll go into the sound menu. And you can see when I'm quiet that we've got values of, around 140 or so. And if I go over and make, if I go snap my fingers, you can see that it's going up some when I snap my fingers. And the balloon, when it pops, is going to be really loud, so it's going to actually max out the value for this sensor, so it goes over 2,000 when the balloon pops. So I'm just going to, set basically this trigger level to something like probably maybe 600 or so. Then I won't have to worry about my voice setting it off when I'm a little closer, and it'll still easily trigger when the balloon pops. So those are the settings that you need. A nice button here is there's this test trigger, and that's actually triggering my camera, my flashes, making sure everything's on. So I was just looking at them, and yep, they were definitely being triggered. So now I'm going to go into photo mode. Now everything's activated, and if I go over here and I make, a loud noise, everything goes off as expected. But I personally like using this trigger cams button. What that does is that if your camera's in bulb mode, it will activate your camera and then wait for a sensor to be triggered, and then it will trigger all the flashes. So that's exactly what we want to do here. So when I push this button, now the camera is being triggered, and in a dark room, you can do that for a long time without impacting the photo. And then when a triggering event happens, all the flashes get triggered and it takes the photo. So this is the mode I'm going to be using here. And I'll just do it in a Lightroom because it makes for better video if you can see what's going on. Here we go. And now I would go in here and it took the photo. So that's pretty much all there is to using the sound module to take photos of popping balloons. I hope that's helpful in showing you an example of how you could use the sound module. Thanks for watching.